In ancient traditions, secret and hidden knowledge was present everywhere. However, due to persecution, it was necessary to conceal this wisdom through stories, parables, and sacred texts. These texts are still available today, but their wisdom can only be accessed by those who are able to see beyond the literal. Even in the Bible, there are intriguing clues for those willing to look beyond the words. Among these clues, the phrase "Christ is in you" reveals a profound truth. The temple of God is not an external place but is within each of us. Today, we will explore an ancient secret found in many spiritual traditions around the world. We will dive deeply into the technique of activating the pineal gland, or Christ consciousness, in a much deeper way than we have explored before in our videos. This is the activation of the Christ oil, or Christ consciousness, in our brain. Inside the skull, there is a place called the claustrum, located in the center of the head. From the claustrum, a secretion known as cerebrospinal fluid is released, essentially a sacred oil. This fluid originates in the brain, and in ancient times it was known as Christos. This sacred oil descends from the brain through the spinal cord, slowly traveling until it reaches the sacral plexus, connected to the sacrum, the second lowest segment of the vertebral column. The way this secretion descends through the spinal cord to reach the sacred area highlights the intricate and wonderful design of the human body. The spinal cord is an extension of the brain. It is a microcosm of how our consciousness descended from the heavens into physical reality. This journey of the sacred oil is reflected in the legend of Santa Claus. The oil created in the brain descends through the spinal cord to the sacral bones, just as Santa Claus descends the chimney to bring gifts, symbolizing the gifts of consciousness. When activated, every month, when the moon aligns with its position at your birth, it is believed that a seed is created and planted in the solar plexus, located just above the sacral plexus. This is considered the universal creative substance, the essence from which everything is born and in which everything exists. The oil reaches the sacral plexus and awaits the germination of the seed, which occurs once a month, 12 times a year. This process takes place over 2.5 days each month, when the moon is in the zodiac sign where the sun was at your birth. This seed represents the Christ born in Bethlehem, for the solar plexus is also known as Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ. This sacred oil must return to its origin in the midbrain. As it rises through the spinal cord, its vibration increases and amplifies. The oil is differentiated in the pineal and pituitary glands before being sent down the spinal cord. These glands, which symbolize masculine and feminine energies, give rise to the spiritual progeny born in the solar plexus of every human being. The sacred oil descends through the spinal cord via nerves known as Ida and Pingala in the Indian chakra system. The Pingala represents the nerve of the pineal gland, associated with honey and positive electric charge, while the pituitary gland is connected to the Ida nerve, associated with milk and magnetic charge. The allegorical reference here is that the germ, Christ, is born in Bethlehem, uniting the energies of Joseph and Mary, male and female. The oil that descends from the brain is also known as manna from heaven. In this context, heaven refers to the head, the highest point of the body, considered the temple of God. The heart chakra, or Midgard, was known as the middle garden, while the area of animal desires was known as Sodom and Gomorrah, representing the world of the flesh. Meanwhile, the Garden of Eden and the land of milk and honey symbolized paradise, which is above. Indeed, the pineal gland produces a golden fluid, similar to honey, that contains DMT, dimethyltryptamine, while the pituitary gland secretes something very similar to milk. That is why it is said that the land of paradise flows with milk and honey. This is the process by which the sacred oil descends and reaches the sacral plexus, waiting for the seed to germinate once a month, 12 times a year. If we can transmute this seed and make it rise through the spinal cord, it will eventually reach the medulla oblongata, the pons, and the midbrain. This symbolic path aligns with the crucifixion of Christ at the age of 33, when the oil reaches the upper part of the spine, finding the optic thalamus, an egg-shaped organ located in the center of the head. When the oil crosses the vagus nerve, this is known as the crucifixion, symbolizing the death of physical consciousness, the moment when you become spirit, embody divine consciousness, activating the kundalini and regenerating both body and mind. This sacred oil is not killed or destroyed. it undergoes a transformation. Its power multiplies up to 1,000 times and then touches the optic thalamus for 2.5 days, equivalent to a lunar cycle. It remains inert, appearing dead, as in the death of Christ latent in the tomb, which in this case is the cerebellum. On the third day, it ascends to the pineal gland, connecting the cerebellum to the optic thalamus, illuminating both and awakening higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness. This process illuminates the pineal gland, considered the throne of God, and activates the crystals around it, awakening divine consciousness. The sacred secret lies in understanding this oil and how to elevate it so that we can achieve enlightenment and open ourselves to higher consciousness. The ancients knew that by preserving and elevating this seed, it was possible to prolong life significantly. They understood that the preservation and elevation of this seed were essential to achieving spiritual enlightenment and inner transformation. Ancient wisdom teaches us that by elevating this energy, we can transcend the lower mind and connect to divine consciousness, experiencing profound spiritual renewal and inner clarity. The sacred secret lies in constant practice. Try it for a full year and see how your consciousness expands, leading you to a new level of self-knowledge and personal fulfillment. Everything begins within you. The kingdom of God is not outside. It is within you, waiting to be discovered. By engaging in practices such as meditation, proper breathing, a balanced diet, and maintaining a peaceful mind, you can raise this sacred oil. As the oil ascends, its vibrational frequency increases, eventually crossing the vagus nerve near the upper spine and passing through the 33 vertebrae, aligning with the symbolic journey of Christ's crucifixion at the age of 33. When the oil reaches the upper part of the spine, it encounters the optic thalamus, an egg-shaped organ located in the center of the head. As the oil crosses the vagus nerve, this event is referred to as the crucifixion, symbolizing the death of physical consciousness and the rebirth into spirit, embodying divine consciousness, activating the kundalini, and regenerating both body and mind. This journey is not just a metaphor but an inner transformation that can lead to profound enlightenment. Keep your inner focus strong. Practice these teachings with devotion and watch how your life transforms. The true kingdom of God is within you, awaiting discovery.